Hi guys, it's Kate with Loud Women, and I had the absolute pleasure of speaking to Eevie, Emma, and Eliza from Eevie Echoes and the Locations ahead of their set at Loud Women Fest, which will be at the $3 bill on the 10th of May in Brooklyn. You can get your tickets on the Loud Women website.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo! Yo!
Obviously, I gave you guys a little bit of a stalk before we started. And I found a
Terrifying.
brilliant video of you, Evie, saying, "Against me, Bikini Kill, Nirvana, Polystyrene, Tom Morello, we're the stench that's in that room a couple days later."
hmm
And not only did I love that, it got me thinking about what my stench was as well. And I was definitely like, it's fucking Monster Energy. It's like, that like 2000s Victoria's Secret spray. Like, it's something like that, a mix of those two. What would you say your stench, so to speak, has evolved over the last 5 months since you made that post?
Mm. I think in a lot of ways it's kind of the same. So we're currently working on a new record right now called The Middle Path. Um, and there are some songs in there that really pull from like just straight up noise. Like I'd say like Daisy and the Scouts. It's like not necessarily that like we haven't like had influences of that, but Daisy and the Scouts is definitely like a band that I think sonically has like kind of like cemented itself in my brain, and like Surf Bowie for sure. So like there are aspects I think of those two bands that kind of peek their little heads out and like the newer
Mm.
stuff we're working on for sure. So yeah, I mean the stench is pretty the same, but throw a little Surf Bowie in there. Why not?
Do you think it's going to be a harsh switch up, or do you think it's going to be like a nice transition from Pons into what we're going to get?
I think if you don't know how we play live and you only have listened to our studio versions, it's going to be a harsh switch. But
Okay,
if you know us live, you'll be like, oh, they're letting the leash off. Because
nice.
the next record, it's kind of tough. Like there are some moments where I'm genuinely screaming my lungs out.
Fuck yeah, love
Yeah, and yeah, like my voice is hoarse today because we did a live session yesterday, and we were doing some of the newer songs. And like Eliza, I low key do like a metal scream, like in the middle of like
Yes.
Let Me Be a Mess. Yeah.
No, for sure. And I feel like too, it's more true to how you've been singing even like the songs from the last album live.
Yeah.
I feel like you're taking more of like your live tone into the studio this time.
Yeah. It's less polished, but like in a really like cathartic way.
So you are a Brooklyn-based band. Have you ever played slash been to the $3 bill before? And if yes, what can those who've never been have to expect?
Ooh, I've never played $3 Bill. That is honestly when I heard $3 Bill was going to be the venue, I was like, oh my God, $3 Bill is fucking massive. That's a huge space. I went to a party at $3 Bill once, and it's so great. There was this gorgeous woman, like this just beautiful, like curvy, voluptuous woman, and she's just there doing a little shimmy, and she's like, "Bring back the bush." I was like,
Oh my
I don't
God,
know what,
you
I
told
don't
me
know
that
what
story
she said.
yesterday.
What?
Bring back the Bush story.
Yes, 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 yes. That was at $3 Bill. That stage is huge. I don't know if they're gonna be mad at me for it, but I have like every intention of climbing on something really, really high. We toured in Jersey 2 years ago, and I climbed to a PA system was like at the top, like as tall as the actual like space we were in, and I jumped basically from like ceiling height to the floor, and it was great. It was awesome.
I love that. We've got one local band in my scene where she swings from the rafters. Yeah.
Actually, so sick.
So there's one you can take away.
Cool. Eliza, get up there. Start
I'll work on
swinging.
my upper body strength. I'll get buff for it.
Get buff.
So, what song on your set list to come would you say is going to be your crowd pleaser? What's going to get everybody like moving the most, do you think?
Mm,
Mm. You mentioned Let Me Be a Mess earlier, and I think that
mhm.
was gonna be a
You
lot
think
of fun.
so?
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun because
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It starts kind of vibey, but just gets so up paced and cathartic. Um, but it's also just like stories about maybe little emotional turmoil, aren't they all? But it's still we're still having a fun, good time through it, you know? And I think
Yeah.
that's the balance that I love.
Yeah. That makes sense. I think, yeah, Let Me Be a Mess is definitely gonna be like a crowd pleaser. I was thinking users as well. I think
Oh,
like
users. Yeah.
that breakdown, I love throwing a breakdown, like a halftime break. I'm like a metalhead kid growing up, like unless I'm like I was like Warped Tour era, like pop punk, like that old kind of thing. So like I love a halftime breakdown. And so we have a song called Users, and there's just this nasty breakdown. And Emma shreds her like fucking like fingers off, and I'm just there like, and it's awesome. I think users and labor are probably so
Love it.
yeah. Or
Okay.
Wet Blanket. People are gonna have fun with Wet Blanket.
I forget that that song's not released because everyone like sings along with it now.
Wet Blanket?
Yeah.
No, Wet Blanket is already out, babe. It's been out.
Oh, we're re-releasing it. That's right.
Yeah. Well,
That's right.
spoilers. We're releasing it. It's
Oh
You
fine.
heard it here
no.
first.
That one's fun because we get the crowd to be like, "That's why I wrote this song," and their energy kind of like that. That's like how we go into the song the way that they do it. So like the crowd usually just like screams their lyrics, and then we go. "Nee." It's great.
That's amazing. Eliza, you mentioned the sort of emotional turmoil. Do you like playing those? Because I know a lot of bands that don't like playing their sadder, more personal ones. Do you find it more cathartic? Do you steer away from it? What's the vibe?
I feel like we have a lot of things that have that fun juxtaposition of we're singing and playing these songs about some more deep emotional things, but we're still doing it up tempo,
Yeah.
having a fun vibe with it. The songs we do have, Apathy is a little bit slower, and it makes me want to cry every time. And so I love that kind of thing. That's the one song I'll switch from picking to fingers on for the
Really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Um, to get a little bit more of that like less harsh, intense tone. Um, but I always have fun with that too because it's a little, I wouldn't say it's a straight ahead ballad. It has some like depth to it too and some power behind it. Um, but I really enjoy that moment in the set where we're bringing it down a little bit, but like we still feel powerful and uplifted, and I still want to cry by the
Yeah.
end. Love
That's always my favorite. Like when I go see a local band, they have one just deep cut, and I'm just there like,
it.
it's
Yeah,
such a nice moment.
Letters is kind of like that too. People have told me that like Letters has made them cry.
Mhm.
I've definitely cried during Apathy. I definitely there have been times sometimes where after Apathy I need to like take a breath because I'm like, especially like the end of it is like it's since it's like such a slow build. It's like
Mhm.
when that like in the end of it hits, like everything just kind of releases. Like I have definitely like shed tears on stage while playing.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I've like fully cried.
Who are you most excited to see from the Loud Women Fest lineup?
Ooh. Anybody want to go first? Because I already got my answer.
You go then.
Okay, I'm so
Uh,
pumped to see Desert Sharks. We haven't played together since like a while. Emma, you remember that show we did with Vile
yeah.
like a million years ago? Yeah. I think Desert Sharks was also on that lineup. Or was this a different show? I'm thinking it doesn't matter. Desert Sharks, oh my God, they're fantastic. I love them so much. We've kept in contact, and I for some reason I just have not been able to catch them like in a while, and I'm so stoked to share the stage with them again. That's gonna be so much fun. Rosie is also really good. I did a solo set, and they happened to be on the bill with me. They're a lot of fun. Like there were props and we were dancing, and I had a big pair of scissors, which I thought was really funny because I'm a raging lesbian. I was like, that's just a little bit too on the nose.
There's a lot of really exciting bands, a lot of different bands as well. It's very diverse, like
Oh,
different
amazing.
sounds. So my scene is Brighton in the UK, which if you know anything about, it's very queer. Like it's the queer capital of the UK.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's a really, really tight-knit little like individual like scene, and almost everyone is fucking gay.
Just like
I'm really,
Bushwick.
yeah,
Just like
I'm
Bushwick.
really curious to know what your scene is like and whether it compares a little bit, or what are like the fun individual features that you find, what genre is the most popular, stuff like that.
Yeah, the Bushwick is the queer central here. I live in Bushwick. It's extremely expensive. It's extremely gentrified, but everyone's gay and everyone's got like insane hair, and I can't walk out with a fit thinking I look cool because I'm gonna see like 10 more people who look way cooler than me, and then I'm gonna have to feel bad about myself.
That's Brighton. That is why
Yeah.
why is it always the queer places that are the most gentrified as well? It's so unfair.
Well, we could have a longer conversation about that.
Oh yeah, I could get into that.
Emma, how would you describe our scene? Because like you've been in it for a while with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I mean, the most predominant genre is definitely punk. There's some emo influence elsewhere. There's some like dancey shit. There's some hardcore stuff
Mhm.
that goes on. Lots of distortion. And there are some indie bands in the scene as well. And yeah, I love that. I'm an indie girl. There are like queer spaces in general, and the best thing that I love the fact that there are like trans only spaces.
Oh
Like
yeah, for
there's no
sure.
like explicitly trans only spaces,
Well, there's
but like
purgatory.
yeah, but like, it's not like it's said anywhere, but
Yeah,
well known, and like there are plenty of things where like yeah, there are only fucking trans people in the room,
yeah,
and that is just absolutely wonderful. I don't have to bat a fucking eye as to whether what I'm saying is gonna be okay or not. It
yeah,
is simply like I hate New York, but I stay here because I love the scene. I don't hate New York,
yeah. You want to
but
run that by me again? You want to run that by me
clarify,
again, Emma?
just to
I know where you
clarify,
live, bitch.
but that is like yeah, like it is the reason why I'm here, and I just wanted to stress that because like I'm a surfer bitch from Virginia. Ooh, Eliza, yeah.
I wanted to kind of just continue on that, saying that um, being in the scene is so wonderful and freeing, as having these queer and trans specific spaces has really made like the biggest city in the world feel like a small community.
Oh yeah.
And it's so comforting to be able to like go to a local bar, or even just walking down the street, see someone I've seen at a show before, or at the train station, stuff like that. And it takes this like what feels very daunting to so many people of how many people are here. And it's like, no, we are in community with each other. We are each other's neighbors, and we're all, hanging out at these same spaces, and we're all here to support each other too. I see a lot of times like um resources for the community at the merch stand, of like, masks and Fent test strips at the
Mhm.
merch stand and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes I have like Narcan too sometimes.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Very much of like, we're all here to have a great time, but we are also here to look out for each other, and it is very much that mutual understanding.
Even outside of the music, like just Bushwick in general, yeah, it's really great.
Where
Eevie
Eevie
Echoes
Echoes
we're
located.
playing the
We're
Loud
playing
Women
Loud Women
Fest.
Fest.
Let's
Where is
go.
it?
Emma
Where is
broke
it?
my chair.
You know
Where
about
is it, Evie?
in May.
In
Yay!
May.